Hi guys, as you know, CipSoft recently completed their rebalancing project, and a couple of years ago I prepared a top 10 list of places to rebalance that I never published, I never made a video on, and I thought this would be a good opportunity. As it turns out, CipSoft actually rebalanced 3 out of those 10 places that I put together a couple of years ago, so I'll talk about those at the very end of the video. But for now, I just wanted to visit the 7 places that I would love for CipSoft to focus on and rebalance in the next batch of rebalancing. So let's take a look at it. First of all, we have Feather Sleeps, and this is not in any order. These will be in a random order. All of these places I'm about to talk about are basically unhuntable, so do not pay attention to the order. But Feather Sleeps, they have slightly rebalanced them a year or two ago, gave them a little bit more experience, but it's still totally unhuntable with their skill debuffs, with the low results. Totally forgotten place. I would love for CipSoft to take a look at it. Another place on my list is Kman Tombs. This is a really awesome place, takes up a huge area of the map in the old school Tibia, but unfortunately the density and the level of the creatures is just too weak. I would love for CipSoft to perhaps take a look at the lowest levels of the tombs, maybe add even deeper levels with some stronger monsters. That would be really cool, because it's really sad to see that the tombs, once so cool, have been totally abandoned. Next on the list we have Baragar, which is another huge area, loads of lore, really cool place, but unfortunately basically nothing here is huntable. You have the Fenrock DLs, which are of course absolutely top tier, but outside of that it's just a huge vast mine of nothing. So I would love for CipSoft to take another look at Baragar and actually make some interesting hunting grounds in this area. Sticking to the Dwarven theme, next up we have the Dwarven Mines. This is one of my favorite hunting grounds in all of Tibia. This is where I spent my childhood, making loot bags out of dwarf guards. I would love for CipSoft to take another look at this little historic spot. I'm sure there's a way to make it a little bit more interesting in 2024. Next up, another old school spot, we have Hellim. This is also another really cool spot from like a lore perspective. I really enjoyed the quest here. I think there's lots of potential for some cool monsters. You've got some Pits of Inferno based monsters. You've got an undead dragon and stuff below the surface. I think it's a really cool undead ice island kind of spot that could be definitely expanded on and make it huntable for some low levels. Next up we have this cave of Misguided, and this cave is really trash. I've done a couple of bestiaries here and everything here is awful. The loot is awful, the experience is awful, the density is awful. The monsters are annoying in addition, so it's just a really bizarre spot. I don't know why they don't just tweak the numbers a little bit, give 20% more experience, 20% more loot, and this spot would maybe be some sort of alternative hunting ground for level 100. Right now, totally useless, nobody ever comes here other than for the quest. And finally, we have Zao Orc Fortress. This is basically an underutilized spot, massively underutilized. Let's be honest, nobody comes here other than for doing the quests, to getting the skull, getting the Tome of Knowledge, and then you never come here again. I have never ever hunted here. I don't know how to rebalance it, because you're quite high level by the point you get here, so you're probably not going to be hunting orcs. But I think this place is really cool, really massive area. I would love for CipSoft to take another look at it, maybe make it more easy to access it as like a low level 10 or 15 somehow, and just add more density. I think it could be really cool. I mean, this is just a much worse version of the existing Venore Orc Fortress, so I would love for this one to be revisited. And that's what I have for you today, guys. Those are the 7 places that CipSoft has not rebalanced from my original top 10 list. And if you're curious, the 3 places that I envisioned for CipSoft to rebalance that they did are Warzone 1, which CipSoft has rebalanced quite successfully, Oromond Minotaurs on top of the mountain hideout, the Fury Dungeon. This place was super low density before the rebalancing. I think after the rebalancing it's still pretty bad and nobody's going to hunt here, so I wouldn't say that was a successful rebalance. Maybe it needs another rebalance. And the last place was the Spargrund Mines. That's also a really cool spot that suffers from low density. It has been drastically improved by CipSoft. Whether it's enough for it to be more popular these days, I'm not so sure, but it's definitely better than it used to be. And that's it. This was the top 10 places that I put together 2 years ago. 7 out of those are still outstanding, so hopefully someone from CipSoft watches. Maybe they will rebalance some of these. And you guys let me know what you think. Are there any places that I've missed that you would love to see rebalanced or revisited by CipSoft? Hopefully CipSoft will continue with this rebalancing projects, and maybe next year some of these spots will see a new sign of life. That's what I have for you today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.